Good morning. Let's see. I didn't update this stuff quite in time. It's interesting how this seems to have kind of stuck here. Oh. Maybe it was just the output that was stuck. Oh, wait. Okay, I guess it isn't a good idea. As soon as one thing exited, they all exited. Well, I might be able to do, since we're working on the server right now. I might be able to get those going. Wait. Okay, so it exited, but it didn't. I'm probably going to have to. Yeah, I'm going to shut basically everything down. Because I can't tell what's what. And one of them is going to be the shell that I'm actually in. We'll have to cross our fingers and hope. Yep. Alright. Now I've got the... Well, doesn't seem like... There's PS. How about... What's Docker doing? maybe Docker PS? Okay, so, well, I mean, it's like our database, now I'm wondering what else is running. What is it? Is it 5,000? No, that one isn't running. I guess it's just like a Docker thing. So it's like our database is technically running. It's just I don't have a good track on. I'm just afraid I'm going to forget that it's running. Maybe if I leave this up. All right, so now I'm not sure that my imports worked. Because it may have ended as soon as the first one ended. Yeah, so that was an OOP. Yeah, I was still doing something. Start web. And I put this in there to do the multi things, but that didn't really work out. All right. Compiler. Yep. That server. And all right, so that's done. So we were trying to sort out, and I think I actually stashed some stuff. Well, I stashed it, but I also... Ooh. We should actually have Diamond deployed now. I guess I just canceled that, okay. Tab header, life search box, show matching object. Wasn't it like locate? Yep. Gone in object search results. All right, so we had started pulling out a tile add function, and I think I may have just kind of run it one at a time. I don't recall if there was any particular issue with that. So I mean this. Well, this is a very old place. Oh, we do get our new monument now. Oh. Oh, right, I did make so this could be left on. And I did leave a search up. So yeah, this place may have, well, this might just be when the when data ended, but it may have also died. It's hard to say. Anyway, that seems to be functioning as normal, even with this extracted. So layer tile at... Maybe it should be like... Well, no, it's not. It isn't... Key place is the currently visible data, even though it's the image at that time. So that is... Yeah, so this is all in here in my maplog sprite. I wanted to be able to reuse that to calculate the image to search in. So you're going to need... This always works. Yeah, this can't just be... Did I... Yeah, I did keep this in... Object point overlay, which... I'd have to use a completely different type of data source. Well, is the draw going to be the same? Yeah, the draws will be pretty much the same. Which brings us back to the idea that we have some sort of, similar to Sprite, some sort of base object. You're going to get a different kind of cache. You're going to do... You operate once, and then I guess when we change options, it gets automatically re-rendered. Maybe we call redraw. So we got to reuse draw method, which is why we had sprite layer. That may have some of... And then we would potentially have these as alternate layers. Sprite layer doesn't have the alternates that did have the zoom ranges. You had the image loading to support your draw. And really it was, well, a draw function and default values for options. Which we're going to apply to everything. So your sprite layer, that is an object point layer. Do we then have like object layer sprite? I don't, yeah, we had key placement sprite. I guess it would be like key placement point and maplog point. So for you, we had to do create tile with the loading and the setup. And then maplog sprite. Create tile at update tiles. There's key placement sprite. I would be depending on the tile at in this case. Object point overlay. Or, no, it's still an object. Oh, it wasn't an object point overlay. Weblog, sprites. Actually, that is already below there. So that is going to become like our base layer. Going to be comparable to sprite layer. So you would not necessarily have this. I don't think you really update. Did I actually use theme for you? The point layer ended up doing stuff with that. You did not end up doing stuff with that. Class name, I think, is really going to end up being more for the subclasses. So create tile, I think it's going to go down to the keys placement version of this. That's a point overlay thing. Key placement point. So you shouldn't have to specify that, that, or that, and then this shouldn't be, so it'd be that. They're both going to involve caches, but be different types. Oh, you're going to be object generation options. So this, how'd this work as sprite layer? You only had that, and you had the base options. Object.assign, object generation options. Well, that's a different kind of sprite. Object generation options. These are meant to apply some defaults too. So maybe that does make sense. So maybe, because sprite layer didn't have this. I guess they weren't always generating. So I'm just assuming that Leaflet's taking care of some of the inheritance here, because they've got this whole object structure thing. So you get a cache, you get a create tile, you inherit draw tile from object point. Okay, that's the light dark from the other thing. And key placement point is going to be kind of a mashup. Well, this is something that we actually have right now. Object point overlay. Arc map log layer, arc key placement layer. Now I'm wondering if I should create like a layer group of these two things. So we set those options there. Yeah, I've got some direct sets of that, which could make that a little awkward. Let me turn it on and off separately. And I do keep these two things, even though they're alternates. So, you know, they aren't alternates in the atom static way. Oh no, set options, alternate atom. Right, arc object point overlay. Key placement point overlay? That's only a local variable. Oop. What else are you going to call it? Create object. Object. Create arc object. Key placement point overlay. Object point overlay. And I think that should be about the same. Okay, we'll mess something up here. Layer.draw tile. Oh, we didn't, object point overlay, select a key placement sprite. Is a grid layer dot extend. A key placement sprite. Is a grid layer dot sprite layer dot extend. Oh, I did grid layer dot sprite layer. So object point overlay. L.grid layer dot L.grid layer dot object point overlay. Okay, so that is similar. Oh, yeah, I'm not doing anything with this. That's the point. L.grid layer dot object point overlay. Object layer sprite, key placement sprite, change your objects. This, extend options. Okay, that seems to be holding up. You get a time value. You get a different kind of cache. And create tile might look a little bit more like this. Pretty similar. There might be some more room for extra abstraction here. Tile, highlight options. We're not doing super scale. Don't know if tile size matters. There's nothing. Yep, and there's tile size. Set attribute. Get cache. Okay, so this is different. Time options dot. We have to make sure we have to set that. Server map server options dot base. We have to be sure to set that. Tile.keyPlace. So we're not necessarily doing that. That's part of tileat. And we kind of did some work to unify the... And then this layer.tileat is going to have to do the object filtering. Time equals layer.time, tile.chords. Probably going to need that for tileat. Layer.tileat, and you were calling done. Oh, this was passing done to draw. Because tileat was doing the draw. And tileat and update tiles might be similar. All right, so keyPlace tileat. KeyPlace equals filter. We're not necessarily size filtering now. We're doing this filtering. We're not loading images. Chords, update tiles, update time. Update. Oops. That looks like a double draw. Well, at least we eventually found it. We're not the most active area. Where's the buildings? That's what I was thinking. Yeah, no, this is a different town. I was looking at something else this morning. Hmm. I mean, maybe there was some reason I had that in there. But we're either gonna... Oh, but this isn't a function to do it later. How did that work? That's your... You're all done. So technically that may have been drawing in the images not loaded state. We probably loaded most of them by now. Was anything? Yeah, you saw one. You saw one rectangle there. So I think that's fine. Yeah. So either I need to have this inside here or not inside here. Since that's calling it, I think I shouldn't be calling it outside. Well, that line would have existed before. Is that the... That's the tile add extraction. Well, I guess we're gonna be rewriting that a little bit anyway, so that's not a big deal. Different filter, draw. I keep wondering if there'd be better ways. So set time, tile at. Better ways to abstract this stuff, because I mean, this could be some sort of like filter option. Setup is very similar. Not identical, but similar. Like you only need to do something if you've got a filter on. And you mess with super scale stuff, which has to do with, which is really kind of part of your draw function, actually. And because that affects, well, you just have to support super scale in the common thing, I guess. I just have it not set for this. Object point. They are both object point overlays. Now I'm wondering if there's a way to condense that stuff. I can check if it works, though. Or is this going to be more like create arc map log, create arc map log. Yep, there's another capital P there. Key placement key placement point overlay. Oh, right. So it's a tile cache. I need to be looking more at how this thing starts up. Kind of got a mashup going on here. So start and base attribution layer, grid layer, map log point, map log, data time, base time, generation options. Great arc. Oh, I'll get into the right spot. I don't have these properly set up as alternate layers right now. So all your options. Great arc. Do you have different options? You might have different options. Data time, span.base. Object point enum. No. Map key placement point. Okay, that's creating it. That is, if there is options for everything. It might need to do that. Layer. And then object highlight options need to be happen on these two things. Object overlay on and data animated. So if we're using that, does the alternate, what is the alternate used for? We set the options, toggle animated. So for every layer, if it has that, swap it out. Okay, so I guess we use that just when doing anim toggle, and then it kind of does everything that's related to that. Okay, so that's on the key placement layer and the map log layer. Key placement point is map log point. I wonder if there's, maybe there's a way I could set up just a function that just cross links two things. I have to be forgetting some things. SEnd. All right, we're not doing a whole lot of cross-referencing here. This is 3524. That's the error handler. I don't know why I can't jump to source in this. This page has no sources. That is very bizarre. Oh, because I still copied this function signature, even though I moved the guts over. Space. Start data span.base. Now we actually run it. Highlight objects is not defined. I may have done some stuff to specifically set this on the other layer, although I was searching for that layer a few times. Key placement point. So we fetch it from there. It doesn't necessarily have to be defined. Highlight, select highlight options. If it has a map log point, is that, did I forget my name? There's the class name. Map log point, span.map log point. Did I lose my return from this function? Return new. Set object highlight options. Oh, and where's object overlay? Oh, so this should be down to the base level functionality. So highlight objects, add it if it's not present. So tile at, oh, yeah, we had a context on this before. From our create tile, because we only had to do it once. I guess this is still going to be a, if it's not there, we have no work to do. Although, we're counting on it to draw. That would only be relevant if this was actually null, but we should be giving it an empty list if we had some and we didn't have some. Okay, well I know you have something, so this is not credible. That might mean that in fact we are always skipping this. Okay, yeah, we are not getting our... Oh, what's options? I think that's the only... Oh, that's layer options. So that either has to go onto the tile or we have to pass it down every time. Update tile get a tile. That's a... no. This is a... Is this still a layer method? Yeah, layer equals this. Which we didn't use that much. So really we've got u and... Oh, because this was used to be used in a function. So we had to capture it. Aha. I don't know if Flint's going to get moved that much. Oh, we had some arrowheads moved around. And this is still saying that it doesn't work in anim mode, which it now does. There are going to be some additional zoom restrictions there, though. So, like, yeah, Flint arrowheads. I'm surprised they're included in the data at this detail. And maybe there's fewer of them. All right, so this is going to be weird because it's going to depend on... That's still relevant. There's going to be like static zoom greater than equal 24. And we, at times, we do call this... Oh, I didn't include the animation options here because it wasn't a thing. And we call this animated. Centering is not so great here. Maybe I have to do this as a paragraph so it all centers together. Oh, this is not the documentation. Or maybe just a sub-element that was centered together, because that paragraph... wouldn't normally have line breaks in it. So this might just be... Let's see, L only has a single thing, so this is going to be more like a column. This is a column. Well, yeah, it's a column and a column. Which has So we center the column, and then we have two lines in this which are aligned with each other. Well, okay, so it's still always zoom greater than or equal to 24. That is always true. But I might not be able to get a good presentation without something else. Let's see. May not be included. Okay, so that left aligns the entire thing. Within the centering of that stuff. Although if we were seeing arrowheads, it's like, I know I've excluded objects. Because it has a count. Maybe I'm not actually excluding them? And it's just saying it's excluding them? That would be an interesting experiment. We actually kind of did that. We kind of did that. We have a problem with files not being copied to archive. Are small objects actually being excluded? Because I know I had the thing with the floors showing up when I thought they would have been cut out. And it was saying they were excluded. Let's see, the processor was actually in here, wasn't it? What was your common thing? Maplog? Let's see, do you use it directly? Final placements, maplog, process. Got a log file. Tiled placement log. We've got an excluded count. Size less than min size. I wonder if that could explain floors. So we do have a min size. We have an excluded count. If it was, well, we only exclude if it was previously 0. We still have to erase things. Yeah, you see a few in town. Not as many in the outskirts. But it seems like that should really be excluded there. Yeah, so I'm doing a count. I don't know. We're setting that to 0, which would exclude it. So this would be, if it was 0, we're still recording it as the previous item. Yeah, I'm going to have to figure out some sort of test for that. Which might involve like doing a temporary run with a simpler output format or something. Or just toggle it off and see if the size is any different. Because that might be a re-render everything situation. Well, I do have decoded, well, obviously the decoded data is including it. By some form or another. Of course, that raises questions like, am I using the correct show object result? List.is empty objects. Huh. Because that's showing stuff. And that's strictly on the empty objects. I may have taken out some places where I was cutting it out. This is purely off of there. Well, are we cutting this off somewhere else? Model. What? Where for objects? Okay, we're bringing it from there. If valid, object search valid. Okay, so that is clearing it out if at that point if it is not valid. So this is data animated. We'll call it valid at 24. Even though some data, wow, I don't even know anymore. Okay, so animated is not a factor. It should still cut out at zoom. Even though it sure as heck seems to be included, so. I mean, there's like certain seeds. I don't know if there'd be a gooseberry seed around anywhere. That might be kind of we don't really keep those around unless you're actually planting. And maybe they even still despawn. I don't have a good way to specify which object we'd actually seen. Yeah, wheat seed head. I mean, it's large for a carrot seed head. They're large for seeds. But I don't think they should really be getting included here. Milkweed seeds, once again, large for seeds. Carrot seeds. It seems like that should totally not be getting included in this data set. I wonder if cutting it out in the drawing mode would do some of that. Wait, am I calculating a min size that I don't need here? Okay. Min size. So I just have to figure out which layer I'm in. This is like object layer sprite. Well, map log sprite. I saw, it seemed like oh, those were all the color boxes. That's definitely making a difference, and it's supposed to be using the same size thresholds. So you filter that. Maplog sprite. I forget how I would fake out image loading. I forget why I put these into canvases. Maybe I had to do that to get transparency or something. Oh, this is for barrier objects. New image. Object images complete. Maybe on the actual draw would be easier. Still the loading, but it's just for a test. If image and image complete. Yeah, that does seem like stuff is coming in. Oh, but this is standard. Oh. Yeah, it looks like we might have a big data size problem there. We got a nice little counter that didn't actually do anything. Yeah, we're excluding all of these objects, really. Hmm. Which might means that the floors will actually get excluded from that data once it's processed there. could perhaps put an exclusion for that in when I update it. That's going to be a big diversion. It actually makes me think map log point. We should go ahead and do this so we don't create any false expectations. Oh, what did we mess up here? Min size is not defined. Oh, I swear I copied that. Okay, objects coming in. Okay, and the arrowheads are still not visible. There's something. Oh, there's the flint chip. Those were flint chips. Actually, no. We should have had that at... Oh, no, out. Oh. Yeah. The data is included at that level. Or should be included at that level, but they're still technically below drawing distance. So this is technically like a custom function. All right, we're going to, floors are nice, we're going to fudge those. In that size, I don't get a min size, I don't get a zoom. Oh, it's actually returned a function. I guess I could have just added a parameter. We've got min size, we've got... I guess we're doing this in a loop. Z greater than or equal to 27. Oh, return function. That'll be our full detail level, and then all the Flint ships should have dropped off at that one, and they're all, jeez. That would cut down our data sizes considerably. But we should still see, I mean, floors, obviously. Okay, that's at 24. Oh, it actually wasn't included. And I can keep moving around a little bit. Even truck isn't included at that level. I mean, this could almost like make entire tiles that shouldn't have been published. Oy. Okay, so we create that. Our filter got a little bit weird there. So we extracted that. I keep wondering if there's something I could do in a different kind of layer that's like, okay, here's your data setup, here's your data setup, here's your drawing function. Did I lose a sort draw order somewhere? I think I probably did that in the extracted tile at. And then we still have this looks terrible. I don't know if there's a better way to just center everything. Maybe just picking different breakpoints would have helped a little bit there. Yeah, we did that. So this is object search for animated view. Animated layer. The animated object layer, animated map log layer is really what that is. And I may have had my notes included on this one. We did that earlier. Pure object layer is only going to get used in some of the older things. So I noticed that you can't, let's see, there was somewhere, and we're like way out there. And I'm probably way back there. It was somewhere, oops. Okay, that was objects loading in. We don't need to be in here though. There was somewhere. Well, this is 2 days after. Maybe it's not up to date. It had a big track system. And we don't returning enough results to actually find all of it. Map UI. Arbitrarily picked 20. Because there's just so many track variants. Oh, that's character. And yeah, every once in a while I get a big project, and then otherwise you maybe get like a sheet pen or something. I'm now curious just how many though that result was. Hello, Demonic. Let's see. So we are taking in a result. It's going to technically it's going to return the result of this. So this is going to be a list. We want, or does it return the original? Nope, it returns the value. Okay. Well, maybe we just deal with this for a little bit. We're assigning to this. So what we actually have to do is we have to what? We have to tap that and do a let blah equals list.length. In L. So a track search has 122 things. Criminally. Oh, because it's track cart with the cart. Some of these are timed. So they would never actually appear on the map. But there's like no way to search for all track stuff. Well, this is mainly to maintain performance. I could give you an option to do an unbounded search if you really want to. I could also, I could grab this and return all results to show how much has been filtered. It also means we would, if we wanted to have an all option, we want to show you how many we had excluded. This is already a let block. And what am I actually doing different with matching objects versus... We have to do a set conversion there. That might be about it. Oh, highlight objects is where we exclude the the checkbox is from. I mean, this is technically a set itself. There's only going to be one of each. But for what we're doing, I don't think... We're just going to do a list filter and then be done. Having the set check for uniqueness is probably going to make it actually less performant. I'm also debating, do we just have a bool for limited, or do we go ahead and put it in as a number? And it would be up to the UI then to expose this many, that many, all of them. Even though I think it'll just be all of them right now. All right, matching. See, the all is derived thing. And that works for most things. The other thing we're concerned with if I wanted to show you how many the total was, we could keep around the entire list, or we could just count it and throw it out. If the number matching changes, we can always do another search to get it back. Although, where am I doing the searching now? I might be doing it in the change message. Yeah, we're doing it in object typing. That could certainly be extracted. And if I did keep around something else, when it changed, I'd have to specifically be shuffling that rather than just redoing this. That means it would be we'd be keeping a number rather than counting the list. Did we typo something here? Yeah, it's in this middle model isn't like a name. Okay, you are a maybe. That one almost deserves a special case. I guess if it's maybe and you have a value, you might have meant just. All right. In our search, that means we have to have a total. Oh. Makes this processing annoying, though. Now we have to conditionally apply that. And is total. Let's dot length total. Oh, and I'm not scrolled down. And then in order to have some UI for that, I know that I'm going to need to extract this. So this is, okay, we kept term because we need that in the UI. This is going to update a bunch of stuff in a model. The other thing is going to need to update that maximum. This will take care of sending the message. So those would only be model updates. So this would be like, do we pass a model to the function? And it could, in fact, just use the model things for everything then. Okay, I used lower there. I didn't actually use it here. I mean, it may just either work, but if we're going to do a processed version, that might be better than having the the model dot reference there. So you would update that. This will be derived, derived, derived. So something like update object search. Save state, sidebar command, all the world rebuild stuff, center. Oh, there's object map, object index. Take a model. All right, this is already updated, so now we have to change this character. You are going to be model.object search term. Object search. You should have a object search object list header, which was just getting a bool before. Now it's going to have a whole lot of stuff. Potentially want both counts and the state of the, well, actually the maximum and the count. So that would put it up to 3 values. We'll have to get passed in. I really hate doing the model, but you tend to get some pretty long argument lists. Oh no, it's actually object detail headers, and you see, and that's a pass through. To you, which is actually doing everything. That's kind of the problem with the long argument list. You have to pass it through every single level. All right, so you've got a checkbox. Your label is the name. Maybe not. Maybe that's actually not good. Because your label is technically toggle all. Well, spacing kind of worked out, even though we didn't have it padding in the next one. All right, so now you were just text. This is, right now we're just going to have a checkbox. So this would be, we're also going to have the numbers. So this is going to be like a subsection that is going to be right aligned. So it's going to be a row within a row. Model, let's see, so this is the actual number. Matching objects. Capital S dot length. Is it string to int or int to string? String to int. No, string from int. And then maximum matching objects. We're going to show this as that many of that many. Oh, except it's not. It's the maximum. So would that then say like 40 of 2? It'll just be radio buttons of maximum all of blah. All right, so you are a maybe. So we're gonna have to maybe dot map the integer to a string dot from int, which will make it a maybe of string. And then maybe dot with default all. Okay, the last one didn't get too long. This one got kind of long. Well, I kind of want the space really, but nope. There probably is a way to repeat the last character search, but I've forgotten all my ninja tricks. It doesn't really need to be headlined, does it? But that was done for the entire header. And well, that's hidden, so that would be for you. No, we're not scrolled here. Okay. Okay, so we're in a list that did not get included or attributed properly to the right function. And this apparently misunderstand how a line works. So that row fills. Maybe I need 2 sections and one's a line left. Element row, element, align left, align center, align right. Do I have to do an L that contains a row? Can you not do align a row in a row? No, that's not it. I don't think I'm getting my left and right confused. Oh, I didn't put any separator characters in here. Maximum from actual matching. Okay, so that, yeah, that we're gonna have to work on that. That seems like that would be AR would be align right. Align self flex end. Maybe the container is not full width, even though it looks like it. So there's the checkbox. It's immediate container. So maybe you have, yeah, you have to be fill all the way down for it to work, or all the way up. This means I think we don't technically need this. Okay. The checkbox was aligned. But the name wasn't. Had I not recompiled yet? Is my spacing taking up everything? That looks like a very, very wide checkbox. Now that's a label within a container, which is the entire thing. Nope. Okay, no, that was... Okay, so that is the fill. Is there an opposite of fill? Shrink. Ugh. No. Maybe the row shouldn't be width fill? Oh, wait. This is a width shrink. And it's not an attribute of itself. This is not doing what Elm UI is supposed to do. So I think spacing is the between element part of this. Or it's supposed to be. I mean, maybe row in row is weird. Yeah. So yeah, see, it's almost like the label, but it's not actually a name checkbox. Can we get it without this now? So that lets me do the spacing for the container differently from the spacing for these two things. Okay, and my alignment is still doing diddly. So now you're spacing 10, which does this between those, which is all we used to have. Why can't I align? We don't have the crazy width thing anymore. Oh, you probably need to be width fill again. There we go. We must take it. I think we took that off at some point because it was causing problems. Does that mean... Well, we do have the left aligned and the right aligned part, even though in theory every section should be okay there. That's not necessarily a bad way to do it. And you could probably use a little bit. Now, maximum matching. So maybe to map to an int. I kind of just need to have this number a few times. So is the actual, this was the actual number. No, that would be 6 to 20. I'm going to need to reverse these. Of the maximum. Six of 20, but if we do track 20 of 20, okay, so that's accurate. We can have a dummy value in there for now. Checked. Oh, that's label hidden. Oh, I can do checkbox on any side of the label. But if I just had a checkbox next to a number, I don't really think that's going to be clear. Yeah, that's fine. Maybe there's going to be a precedence problem? Yep, yeah, you have to be text. Because it can be arbitrary stuff. Spacing 2 is maybe not quite enough there. But I have to do side-specific padding to separate them more. Yep. I mean, that would the empty might get me some padding or some spacing. All right, so we want to do this based on maximum matching objects. It is show all if it is nothing. And actually, I'm probably gonna need this again, unless I just call it toggle. Then we are going to. This is just checked. We are not currently showing all. All right, select all objects. These are pretty much just all user selected something. Because I still have to be able to somehow specify unlimited to this. And this is going to be a invert, so I can't just map the maybe somehow. Select all objects. Select matching object. It's going to do similar stuff to this. I guess all my select controls went together. Select maximum objects. Maximum matching objects. I copied the wrong thing. Maximum matching objects. Update object search. Oh, you actually give me a... You're actually a checkbox. You actually give me a bool. Actually, it doesn't depend on what we were. It's just going to be the bool, which is determined by the other statement. That doesn't seem quite right. So if it becomes checked, then we have no limit. This has to be an if. Oh, and this is where I could potentially say of 122. So for cases like that, this is useful. Doing it here could be maybe a little bit painful. That specific note sort of relates to, well, multiple search terms could be actually different unrelated things. It solves some similar problems. Allow object search for all matches. So what would be... I might have to wait on multiple search terms until I have a use case for it. The color scheme, it was based on the dark of MacVim. Is it .vimrc in Windows? No. I know Eurolink. That's Vim files. But that's really to actually Dropbox, Vim, vimrc, color. Okay, so actually it's a slightly modified one. Where are those defined? I probably made a custom color for it. Yeah, so this was the MacVim Dark, which I don't know if that's a public project. Maybe the color scheme is? It's on GitHub. Right, MacVim dev at GitHub.io. I'm not sure where that would go in the repository, though. Or maybe that's even a little bit separate. What? I haven't checked the math on that. It just says MacVim color scheme. Actually, yeah, I don't know. If it was in a, it was probably in a directory called colors. Colors. It's possible that there's a different repository for the color schemes. Well, there's a lot of match. I actually wanted to do by file name. Yeah, it's not by file. So I'd almost be better off like downloading it and then searching in there. But that would be where you have to look for it. Okay, actually this supports light and dark, so it's just the MacVim color scheme. I forget what I tweaked about it. And actually, sometimes there's a really dark blue that maybe I should see if I can lighten that up a bit in the dark mode. Is that in... that'd be more in a file search. That's not too terrible right now, but it's a little bit hard to read. Do I still have that open? Of course, the problem is I don't know what color that is. Might have to do some. Where's the? Is it not light dark? If background equals dark, then we do some overrides. Yeah, there's a couple of blues here, so I guess I'd have to do some. I guess that would be something in the quick fix panel that's like a file name. I have to try and read up on what that is. All right, we were trying to figure out. I don't know that I've published that anywhere. It's a little bit of a random collection of things that I probably need to go back and clean up sometime. And there's gonna be a few things in gvim, well, very few things. Yeah, so hotkeys, bunch of ignored directories. I think it's Powerline. Yeah, so a lot of it's plugin config. I don't know if there's a better way to like isolate stuff. Let's nothing special there. I don't think. I don't know if the editor interface does anything for, let's see. Guess, dump. Don't see any indication of that. I guess I should maybe have a quick look that I haven't actually done this somewhere. Nope, don't think so. But yeah, some of it's plugins, and I think a few of them I'm not necessarily using. The Gists page doesn't have create a Gist. Ah, there's a little plus button up top. Let's see. This is technically just a vimrc file. And there's going to be some things for like particular, like stepmania syntax is pretty particular. And this doesn't have the plugin list, which might be doing a few of the things. All right, that is save, download, zip. Yeah, I guess that's the public URL. Yeah, so it's very likely I'm not using some of these. I use the Act plugin all the time. Sometimes it chugs on large directories. That's why I have a lot of the exclusions in there. Control P is the buffer lookup. Let's see, language. I think that's for shaders, color scheme. Nerd tree, I'm not even sure if I'm actually using that much, but it might be for some of the file browsers. I think that lets you do commands on brackets surrounding things. Syntactic is the automatic file checks on some things. Don't remember. Probably not using that. Forgotten. Was fugitive one of the bundle plugins? Language, 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 language. The custom bar. Forget. Language. That may be a dependency for something. Actually, if I do this, it doesn't say, yep, that is nerd tree. Oh. Oh, that's Git. That's the Git interface, which I don't even know if I've got turned on. Because I don't, you see, this is what I was talking about. I need to go through and either learn my plugins or get rid of them. Because I've turned things, installed things, and then forgotten the commands for them. So they're not really doing me any good. But I believe that is the Git plugin, which maybe that does some stuff in diffs. That's some syntax highlighting. I think it was mainly the Git commands. So, oh no, actually, yeah, this thing is down here. So maybe that's all I'm getting out of it right now. All right, so pure object layer going to affect some things. I don't know that anyone's really going to be terribly bothered by it. Maybe object, sprite, probably. What inherits from sprite layer? Object layer sprite. Yeah, so if we have a seed and there's no create world layers. It's only generation. If we already had an object layer of some sort, wait. This is for spans. Oh, maybe the spans replace the object layer? Redraw spans. And not target span, enable it. So it is being created where there's seeds. But it's never being enabled if we have object data. Because that includes, the span data includes that. So you could be done perhaps a bit less efficiently. as a key placement layer without a data source. Or maybe only the overlay layer would need to be done that way. So I might have to actually. This is where I might want to rethink some architecture type things. I've got all these different layer types, and then when I start adding the object search overlay that depends on the same data, it gets a little awkward. Yeah, that is kind of low value right now. That might not be easily fixable. I probably shouldn't be doing that. I mean, it's only 1404. Let's see. Obj. If not object images placement.id. That's the special barrier code. That's the standard one. This should really just be I think we were storing these as text. JavaScript won't really care anyway. Okay, minor fix. Oh. Okay, so maybe we don't do that. Well, I guess I have to check out what's going on. Okay. Redo. I must have an else block. No. Object images, placement ID. Okay, so we have something that says, okay, it's all loaded. You can just use it. Did we actually do a check for image here? Well, it was in check loaded in this case. We have to check this before. Oh, now see, this has a 0, and that actually is a short circuit. Let's see if we can be consistent about that. Okay. Oh, okay, so there's a few. So those probably, in fact, don't exist. I guess I could just double check it's not some like limit of the little web server I'm using. Are we at the most recent time now? 855. -80. Nope, there is no -2. So why did it think it should have been able to find that? Am I not checking indexes, or do indexes not apply to map log layers? I'm not sure you have indexes. If there is one, it'll be here. Oh, maybe it's in the index, but not in this time? I'm forgetting if I went YX or XY. That would, I'll have to decode that, right? Indexed, index tile cache. Okay, so that's using a different object. Key index cache. Using a different parse tile index. So T, or we take the Y and then all of the X's. Key index, that says index, map log ZXY. So that is X80, Y -2. -2. Okay, so the current one does indeed not have that. Yeah, and if I was going to look up the map log, the key placement would have the base tile. This would only be valid for the most recent. Key placement, so we use U, key placement key. Key placement key in tile log. Load tile chords. So given a tile, we attempt to load them both in parallel. Huh. Are we actually using this in static? It looks like it. Index tile data cache. Key index cache gets you that file. So this is the thing that would be checking that. Return the index load. And then that individual thing. which gets me a tile time. So if there is a time, otherwise it returns nothing. But even if the base time was nothing, that doesn't mean there wasn't activity on it. Yeah, because the index will show there was activity on it for preceding times. We're using what existed before and replaying log activity on top of it. Now, we should have a snapshot image that corresponds to our map log time. I would almost have to get the index of that. No, there was not guaranteed to be map activity on any given tile. I wrote out an index for where something is known to be, but I would have to have a separate index for where map log things had happened. And I'm not currently writing that out. Well, the old screenshot-based one would do lots of 404s, so I guess we just kind of accepted that. I guess the one thing we could check is I would have to be using the static tile index. Oh, it's too far out now. Of the next time to say, if I did that, I could say there can definitely be no data here. So I would need, or rather, if it's completely empty, there can if the time at the next time, which I think if that's the latest time there, that should correspond to, right on the timestamps, to the key placement data of the final image there, and then this, we should have span information that says this is as a baseline of the previous. So we would have the static image there. We don't currently have, let's see, would we care about whether, well, yeah, actually, if we had a way to query, if the time for that tile was the same as the current data time, that means that tile was updated in that tick, so there should be a map log for it. Well, I mean, you still have eventually we'll fix the scaling issue. So this is just a small Small annoyance. That requires, see, that's pre-calculation, that's pre-calculation. Oop, that wasn't okay. Server time selections. Well, that's server, so I guess I fixed that one already. So I need a new confirmation on that. That's data processing, that's data processing. We've found a major problem in data processing. Oop, okay. That is a major UI rewrite. Rendering optimization is a deep hole. Oh. That could sort of be, that might impact some of our, well, that was walls and floors. We've done floors. Those are easily identified. That's performance. That's kind of irrelevant. I actually kind of did that. This is probably getting to pretty old notes. There are some problems with dark colors right now. Oh yeah, and then there's I would like some higher level, something at higher level zooms. I have to figure out what and how. So at this point, I either need to do data fixes or maybe work on a real-time bar. So that's data processing, that's data processing. This actually kind of got this all across a couple different repositories because there's this. That is sort of you. Then there's this. And we actually have the actual code for most of the processing. Okay, so we sort of have that. This is really multiple windows. This, they actually end up in, that's a map log processing. Okay. You actually end up, did I just put the code in here? Well, I put the code in. It's got a bug somewhere. So I'm not sure it's where that's going to be. This is really going to be prepared here. Yep. Multi-window. That kind of falls into stuff we'd like to do. Oh, well, organizing notes could be a good thing. So we've got network optimization. We've got server work. I guess I should put a note in here about maybe coming back to animated small objects need to be fixed there. And then it has to get fixed back here. No. These are nice to haves at this point. That is like map feature. That's kind of a map feature. That's a big map feature. Rendering and optimization. Network optimization. Let's render map data. It's canvas perf. This might be a little bit old. This is mostly ideas. Let's see, can we group these at all? So that was a project. That's just a general code quality. Maybe I should actually do something like that. That's kind of a map feature. That's kind of a feature. It's a feature. Optimization. I mean, I guess this is bottleneck. Actually, sort of done only load needed sprites, I think. No, I might be uploading. No, yeah, I think that's kind of done. Unless I was talking about actually doing the underlying sprites. This might be for back when it was a pixel layer. I actually am rendering the Rift. think I'm kind of doing that. Oh, yeah, sprite sheets. I don't actually use the pixel layer as much, so that isn't too big a deal. Custom layer methods. Oh, methods of creating custom layers. Well, this was rendering optimization. So canvas perf. Is kind of the same thing. Your sprite lods. That was for the biome layer. Maybe this is still useful to have under canvas. This is kind of a feature. That's not rendering per se. Because it's not necessarily the monument might be newer than the last data times. I don't know if that's really a thing we can deal with. The monument reset times would be kind of a feature. It's kind of data entry. Very minor bugs. So we are kind of just organizing and documenting right now. All right, so I think this is going to be a feature. That's kind of a minor bug. Reasonable amount of data. I mean, I guess that would be, I think I just had this as a feature at one time. Oh, because that has to do with the columns. So this is like, well, that's kind of network optimization. And that might due to like some kind of column-based query. Oh, speaking of features. It'd be nice to have the family names on the map. That's sort of similar. Those are basically features. I'm actually not completely sure about that. It's kind of a minor bug. Default server is kind of a code quality thing. Paging is probably for life search results. That is always a big question. This is essentially server work, though. This is kind of code quality, biome age times. This is kind of a data research thing. That's a minor bug. Rebuild selection in layer. This is some historical stuff. Oh, this is just kind of a note about which versions I had screenshots on. And I've completely forgotten what that was. I might still need to pull things out of here in the priority list. This is kind of just goes down to a code quality thing. And this just goes down into features. I want to hear about or know of a use to kind of test with. That's kind of been on top of my mind. Help would be good. This is kind of gonna be some of this is client side, some of this is server side. I have to identify the objects I want is part of it. That's something I kind of want. Where did I put down? Yeah, that's going to be a tough one. I guess I'll just be looking up an algorithm. That might involve, well, the trick is excluding Donkey Town. Optimization is always available. This kind of goes down in like minor bugs, other optimization. I'm kind of like we might have to go do this next. There hasn't been a whole lot of call for having the other objects. Let's see. Could wrap up, but I'm very, very, very behind on this stuff. And maybe the interactive help is something I should be looking into sometime. All right, so a lot of this stuff has changed. Well, you know, I actually think I might want to fix this before I document it. What can we do with this mess? I could have put animation controls here, but I think I might be undoing that. I might have to have subtabs, because that's really the only thing that changes. I kind of liked the idea that you started breaking up the format tab, but it's really just that. That might not be an easy... It took a little while to move everything around the first time. This will probably just be kind of involve putting some sub-controls back. So I have to figure out some kind of like sub-tab. This might not be something we can immediately deploy. I've not yet thought of a better way to handle this. Yep. No, get checkout. Well, actually, yes, to check out. This is going to be a little bit of work. I mean, I guess it's serviceable for now. I don't know if it's going to be easily done today. I need a tab control, I'll need messages, and then I have to put everything back. That'd be a good evening project or something. Of course, by putting that there, I've already... That changes things, so I can't just move branches around easily. Define a view, define messages. We sort of have to change our sidebar goes back to open close. Drop the icons. Well, fixing all the split views might just take a while to sort out. I'm just curious. All right, so we've got like a tab. Would tab header work for this? String, string, current. Search mode, select. And I might, oh, this probably, mode, well, mode is technically a variable. Oh, that's a, I need my simple defs. I think it's users. And we were going to have the diamond, which was locate. But I don't have actual things to put in here right now. So we've got a message that takes that kind of thing. We've got that kind of thing. We've got the palette. All right, and the place we would have to put this would be on like the life search column, sure. Okay. I may have grabbed the object one, so it'd be actually changing the other thing. I'm not thrilled with it, but it works. I didn't put the right text in here. All right, to make that functional, well, and the whole structure of the search sidebar has to change. And actually, that was the life search sidebar. So this becomes actually like search. Was it just search? Maybe it was live search before. Search panel. However, this takes up this switches on something that we don't yet have available. So life search does that without this. And then you do the mode select and I guess life search for now. And then where we did life search, yeah, so that's going to be an interesting. We'll switch there. Okay, that actually holds up fairly well. So this is going to be like some kind of search mode. And I'm going to have a little bit of a naming problem here. Because they would have liked object search and life search. Should it be lives in this format? Object search mode. That's sidebar mode. Up. Search mode equals search lives. Our old traditional one. So that should be compiler correct. To be able to put that in, we need to have a message for it. Select time mode. Well, I guess the sidebar mode, but the tabs. Select life mode. Which will force us to handle this in the handler. We might be able to still run it through sidebar command. It's going to change some stuff in there. Might change visibility of something. And then things are eventually going to happen there. And we're currently doing this in, oh, no, did I not use, I guess I did select object mode for this. Okay. Select search mode. Search lives. Search objects. Model dot. Search mode. Oop, capital search mode. But we don't do anything with it yet because we didn't have a thing to implement last time. Case model dot search mode. You're working the sidebar. All right, so that expresses all of that difference. All right, so we're only going to have one sidebar. It'll kind of be life sidebar for a while. I could just start doing that. Time overlay, timeline, life sidebar. We'll rename all this stuff later. Search, panel data filter, life cosmetics. They'll just eventually become cosmetics. If we leave that as data filter, object sidebar eventually goes away. Life mode select. That will eventually just become the mode select. That disappears. Search mode select. Tab header was reusable. The search panel, we keep these two things. Object search, life search box, object search box, show life result, show object result. Matching lives, matching objects, life header, matching object, life detail header, object detail header. Matching life detail, object detail, name parts, dates. Lineage data filter is the thing that we went in from there. So this map selection, which is actually kind of right on screen, is a strict subset of that. So you will eventually go away. There's nothing to edit here. Data button enabled. Start time select, date range select, and the eaves thing won't be used as we're doing object stuff, but hours text. Okay, presets, cosmetics. So life cosmetics are probably going to have object cosmetics. Oop. Object cosmetics. All right, so this must be a general option. Object cosmetics. Huh. I just put that there. Okay. I forget where I used to have everything. It was probably down around there somewhere. Fade tall objects would be kind of an object option. So point color, point location. And I want to rethink the options a bit, but so fade objects, natural objects above zoom. And then these ended up being shared things for the time. Maybe this all went down here. What are you complaining about? Time zone control. Oh, I removed them. Okay. Probably fair enough. So you, just the generics. I think these things actually used to be higher up in life cosmetics. Maybe even above animated. And that's if animated. I don't remember if it's organized exactly like that. Maybe fade to objects. Why not move that relative to anything? This kind of hides down here, though. Wait, are you... Wait, if data animated... Oh, did I... Oh, yeah, we lost one of them. Those are two separate ifs. Although animated... I guess the speed controls are relevant, but the toggle can be done here. Even the generic options should still go on the bottom. They will not be a bar against the edge. And maybe I also had animated down there. And that's not nudging the bottom. Okay, so that will do that. Object cosmetics starts to disappear. We extracted those two controls. This might be all support stuff. So that has, I think the only things that we really cared about in here were the specific options that we pulled out. This is all duplicated. This is now here. Well, object sidebar. Let's see, in order to get rid of this stuff. All right, we could do none. Object sidebar, reference, object search, map selection. Object cosmetics. And object search, for which we have a home. Object sidebar, we have removed. We still have the stuff to do that. I don't know if I ever want to go back to multiple sidebars, but I've already got the type here for it. And we should have nothing that sends... Well, no, the object sidebar comes from the outside. Map UI. Life sidebar toggle, object sidebar toggle is going to be a leaflet event. Oop, no, wrong thing. Object sidebar toggle, message object sidebar toggle. So we don't add you to the map. We don't have a button. We don't set your status. Do we have any leaflet stuff for you? We've got a sidebar command, which took... Looks like we're pre-converting the string for that. This probably just used to pick a sidebar toggle or something. And life isn't even necessarily an accurate thing once we finish this. Leaflet.object sidebar toggle. Is that an event? Object sidebar toggle. Which shouldn't be able to happen. That will break compile. Sidebar command. Model.sidebar. We're just not going to do anything. Object sidebar. So that had to be able to convert that to something. So for the moment, it does have to be a complete case. Select life mode. Select object mode. Oh, so this is the individual messages, which that message shouldn't be able to happen anymore, but in time. So I think object sidebar mode. Are you gone from view? Object mode select, which I think we actually had cleared. Yeah. Well, that's going to complain about the handler. We're looking at model. Okay, map UI still has a reference. Oh, so I guess this will just be a no op until we can get rid of it. I guess you could have removed the message first. Oh, and I can't have this do nothing. Oop. No, model. Object, sidebar. I guess that would be object mode. And then our view had select object mode, which referenced that. All right, so we should be functional. There might still be some cleanup. Oop. Oh, this is like way out. There's still a bunch of things called life that are technically unnecessary. Oh, our sidebar. We life mode. No, that's not life mode. Sidebar. There is no more object sidebar. That's going to be in view. In our switch. Okay, so that compiles. It's not really a life sidebar anymore. View might touch on that. Model dot. Model dot life sidebar. There it is. And then map UI. Oh. And then we still got one in view. Oh, okay. Wrap got me. Did we just call it open sidebar? This is not life search. This is actually search. It is not specific. And Jin, you are, what are you? We've already got search panel. Now this is life search. I see one of the things I can do from here. Is I can actually make this. This is usually what I end up opening first. And there are maybe some other things I'd like to do about that initial, about streamlining my usual workflow. Life search term, okay, those are still separate. It's still called life sidebar and life cosmetics. And then view. Perform life search. Do we still have those two different typings? Select life mode. Sidebar mode. Oh no, I'm changing two things at once. Select it. Okay, so actually it does compile. So view would actually be the definition of this. Undo. Maybe in the view, we still have some things that are over specific. Yeah, just the sidebar now, isn't it? Oh, and a life mode select. Live search is still separate. Live search, life result, header. Do I have sidebar as a word? Model.sidebar. We've already got the type here. No real reason to make it a Boolean again. Oh, it's the life sidebar toggle. That's still what you're expecting. That's a view message. Sidbar. Okay, so what is this? Oh. So that's that message. Which happens to you. Message handler said only really be once. And then you have to do, not you. That's just sidebar toggle. Kind of back to a data message, sidebar toggle. All right. Still leaves this kind of crowded, but I really didn't like the double sidebar. And we, in fact, did not necessarily need a branch for that. Might have forgotten a term somewhere. Yes, tabs. See, search. I guess we merge to search tabs. We never really used that one. All right, that will need to get deployed. But that's more of an offline process. All right, time for lunch. Let's see. I was working on UI. Let's see. That's what I'm usually on. Yeah, nothing super close. There is someone making a URL library in C. The music is often too much for me, but last time I was there was music. But otherwise, if you're looking for something cool to hang out, is that Heroes A? Is someplace cool to hang out. Thanks for hanging out with me. Goodbye, and until next time.